What up, everybody? It's your boy PTK BLAM back with another episode of the Shop Podcast, episode 25. Can't believe we've already made it to 25 episodes of this podcast. I want to say thank you for everybody that's joining us here on the panel. Thank you for everybody listening to us out there. We appreciate the love and support. Got some great topics lined up. Got a lot of great guests here today. Some good friends, new friends, but they're all friends. So, as usual, we're going to go ahead and go around the panel, let everybody speak their mind, let everybody say what they've been playing, and introduce themselves. You guys in the chat, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate the love and support. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our guest of honor today. Me and this man kind of been back and forth trying to get him on the show, schedules trying to get lined up, but we do have Italian Clownz in here for Four Guys with Quarters. Go ahead and shout yourself out, brother.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, you can check us out, 4guyswithquarters.com, Thursdays, 4 Guys with Quarters on Twitch, 4GWQ Podcast on Twitter, and 4 Guys with Quarters on YouTube.
Great, fantastic. I got another great guest here. I had Bear Claw on before, but that podcast unfortunately got cut short, so I invited him back, man. Guy's a knowledgeable gamer, great guy, plays a lot of stuff. Go ahead and give yourself a shout out, Bear Claw.
Hey guys, so glad everyone's here and checking us out tonight. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at BearClaw Gaming, and really appreciate being on.
Great. Then I have some family here also with me. Got my boy Pred. Go ahead and give yourself a shout out, Pred.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm happy to be back on the shop.
For sure. And then I got my brother from another mother, GKB. Go ahead and give yourself a shout out, boy.
What's up, my brother? It's GKB. Glad to be back home on the Shop Podcast. Can't wait to talk some gaming with all these cool people.
For sure. And then I got the lady of the hour, She-Wolf. Go ahead, lady.
I just want to say I'm proud to be here. It's always my big dream to come on the Shop Podcast. It's the first podcast that, I really started listening to and stuff. So, it's like home. And so I'm just really happy to be here. So thank you.
Oh, you're going to make me get off foggy on the podcast, girl. Don't do that.
I seem to be very good at doing that to everybody.
I see. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to try and hold off on crying, everybody.
Suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up, man. Appreciate the love and support. Like I said, the live chat, everybody is enabled. So, throw your questions in there. As I typically do, we take the questions at the end of the show. Just throw them in there if you guys have anything you guys want us to cover or go over or talk about. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the topic. So the very, very first thing I want to talk about today is the COD Infinite teaser trailer. Now, I saw it earlier. We, on this show in particular, we're not the biggest fans of COD, but I just want to get everybody's opinion on the trailer, what they think, what could it possibly be. Is this going to tie in to any other Call of Duty? Just let's go ahead and go around the panel. Let's get started with this. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our guest of honor, Italian Clownz. What do you think about the trailer? What do you think the direction of the game is going in? Are you going to buy it? Are you happy with it? Or
Well, you're not going to believe this. I used to be a fan of COD, but now I'm not. And I just think, as I said before, I think it just needs to curl up and die at this point. And Battlefield 5 should just take the crown over. But they sent me the links to the trailer, and to be honest with you, I clicked on it and closed it immediately. Just because people were telling me it's about space, and I'm like, I don't want to see this, man. Don't want to see it.
Yeah, that's kind of been the thing. I mean, they kind of teased that about Call of Duty in space, and the world ending, and that's how I don't really understand the direction they're going in. But they've kind of painted themselves in this corner at this point. They can't really go back now. You give people exosuits, you turn people into the Terminator. You can't turn around and take that away from people and say, hey, let's go ahead and just give you what you guys been wanting, for the last 3 or 4 years now, So it's kind of unfortunate, but let's go ahead and move on to Bear Claw. What do you think about the teaser trailer? You excited for the game, or?
So yeah, I saw the trailer earlier this afternoon. I mean, look, when you watch it, you're like, yep, this is a Call of Duty trailer. It's nothing exciting to me as somebody who's kind of jaded when it comes to Call of Duty. What I was hoping, the main reason I watched it was because I was hoping for some Modern Warfare Remaster teasers in there, but came away disappointed in that regard. Didn't do much for me.
You know what? And the funny thing is, I kind of feel like they're using the remaster as kind of like bait for people.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they're really using it as bait.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, all right. So, Pred, what do you think about the trailer? Have you seen it already? What do you
I
think?
watched it right before the podcast started, but I guess I'm kind of like like Bear Claw and Italian Clowns. I'm not really interested in it right now. I think it's kind of like it's been out too much too often, and it's one of those like Assassin's Creed. Maybe they need to take a break, like Assassin's Creed is doing this year. And you mentioned this on a couple of podcasts before. You said it a few minutes ago. It's like they've given us all this stuff. They can't really go backwards, and so they keep just pushing forward into the future further and further. But we're almost in Halo era right now. I'm just not interested in playing this right now. I didn't play the last two Call of Duties.
Yeah.
I purchased them for my kids. They like them. I mean, but I just cannot get into it. It's just like a rewash of everything we've seen before. They're just changing the settings each year.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get it. It would take a lot for me right now at this point to actually buy that game and actually play it.
Yeah, you know what? And the funny thing is, everybody listening, I know it kind of sounds like we're bashing COD, but I mean, most of us were all big COD fans at some point. Probably all of us were all big COD fans at some point, whether it be the later CODs or the earlier CODs. So we all, COD kind of holds a soft spot in like a lot of our hearts as far as gaming because, COD was the premier FPS, for a long time, and just to kind of see it, just fall to the wayside and I don't really know the direction that they're going in and it's just I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and let GKB. It's your turn, brother. Go ahead. What do you think about COD?
Yeah, the trailer is still, lately just much of the same as, I think Advanced Warfare was kind of like the pinnacle of the movement systems, and then everything after that is just going downhill, as far as I'm concerned. I'm a huge COD fanboy. You can go back to my channel and see all the videos I do for COD, but honestly, you got to wonder, like, is COD 4 actually going to be the one that everybody's going to be playing when, this drops, because that's coming with the game, so... I'm gonna be one of those guys that's gonna be on the COD 4, man. I probably won't even play the new one, honestly.
Yeah, and like I said, I feel like they're really using that as bait. We always wonder why they didn't put it as far as backwards compatibility, why they never released any CODs, and they were holding them close because they want to use them as bait. I mean, I really feel like that.
Well, that's the only way they're gonna be able to sell it. Like,
so that's the only way, because
yeah.
if you think about it, when it leaked, that picture or whatever it was leaked of the remaster, nobody was talking about the new game at that point. Everybody's talking about the remaster. Like nobody.
I mean, Activision's not stupid, right? I mean, they're very methodical about what they do, and you kind of wonder, like, does Activision really know that it's a pile of shit? That's why they're giving it, COD 4 with it, like, just to sell the game. Like, I don't know. Man.
And each year the numbers get lower. For the last, I want to say, 2 or 3 years, the numbers have gotten lower and lower on each COD. So they're not drawing in, because COD used to be an automatic at least 20 mil, at least 20 million, across all platforms.
And with Battlefield 5 and Titanfall, 2 coming out, like,
Titanfall 2, yeah,
they got a lot of competition there, man.
A lot of competition, definitely. So, She-Wolf, what's your opinion on the COD teaser?
I'm actually really disappointed in it. They're going way too into the future, and they really didn't have to. I really enjoyed the historical fact that Call of Duty used to actually bring to its games. I enjoyed, of course, everybody enjoys the zombie mode. Like, really, who doesn't buy the game for the zombies? And my favorite was actually Advanced Warfare. They took it to the next level and tried something new with the boost, but they didn't actually take it out of reality. They kept it into the spot where it was just the electronics and technology improving. It wasn't actually like the whole new alien race type thing was changing, and now they're just going too far, and I think they're trying to be too much like Destiny and Titanfall, and that worked for those games because that's what they came out as, and COD didn't. So I think now they're just taking it too far, and then with Black Ops 3 and the story, how they just pretty much warped everybody's mind with that. That was just a mess all on its own. So to take it from that and then to bring it to this game, they're just going way too out of their league, and like everyone has said, they screwed themselves up, and I think they know that, and they hurt everybody. Everybody wants, Call of Duty 4 back, and so they're doing it. They're giving it to you, but the catch is you're going to have to buy the other game. which in all is a smart move, especially if they think it's crap. But the question is, who's EA Sports gonna play then?
That's what I wanted to know.
Well, now have they 100% confirmed that you could only get the game through the whatever the special edition? Because I know we've all seen that promo.
There's rumors for Amazon, but come on, let's be real. How many ads have been fake on Amazon to begin with?
Right.
Yeah, but you think about it, like they have the trilogy coming out, but why would if the trilogy's coming out with COD 4, why would they just give it with the new COD 2?
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
It's kind of like
yeah, that's kind of weird. Go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. If they released just the remaster, I would consider, and I shouldn't say this because I'll make Activision's mouth water, but I would consider dropping $50 on a Call of Duty 4 remaster.
I think a lot of people would, though. I think that's the biggest game.
Yeah.
And
right.
Kind of why I asked the question. If they're bringing out this remaster the way that they are, and they're bringing it out with the new Call of Duty, which one is EA Sports actually going to take for the COD Championships?
Well, and I saw that in the same promo they said they're only taking 10 of the original. I think there's 20.
And you get a supply drop for the other 10 maps.
yeah, more DLC. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's crazy how they're doing. I don't know if you guys saw that, but you only get 10 maps.
Yeah.
With the remaster, then they give you the other 10 in a supply drop. So.
To be honest, though, I'll take COD 4 with 10 maps over.
Oh, I would too.
Oh yeah, as opposed to bounce around in space. Oh yeah, any day.
They definitely know how to. Activision definitely know how to pull those heartstrings. They know everybody wants that remaster, that COD 4 remaster. So a lot of people, like Bearclaw just said, would definitely drop the money just to buy the remaster. Look at all the the remaster that have come out this generation that nobody wanted a remaster for particular games, and they put them out anyway. So I definitely think people would definitely be standing in line to buy the COD 4 remaster on these new systems. So
I want to just point something out. I actually think it's kind of funny that Xbox decided to do their whole backwards compatibility list to see the most wanted games, and Activision pretty much was able to sit back, watch their games go to the very top, and be like, oh, so now we know which ones to remaster and make our money on.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good point.
It's a smart move. Smart move.
It really was.
And like not to be pessimistic here, but if we look at how they did Prototype and how they did the Deadpool re-release on Xbox One and PS4, where like it's a port but it's really not optimized. I'm hoping that we get a Modern Warfare remaster akin to Halo or Gears Ultimate and less like that, basic port. I want revamped graphics and revamped textures, and I hope they go all the way with it.
Honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. Activision's all about doing the least amount.
Yeah,
no, you can slap a 1080p sticker on it, and then just say 1080p. They have to at least revamp. I mean, come on.
No, they might honestly do. What they should have done in the beginning is just release this remaster this year with all the maps, and then waited until next year. Other garbage are coming out.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give Sledgehammer back Advanced Warfare and actually see what they'll do with it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. Great topic, guys. So the next topic is actually two questions built into one thing. So we're going to talk about the Division now. All of us have played a shit ton of Division. We all love the game and enjoy it. But I remember when a game came out, I said specifically, ask me 30 days from now how I feel about the game. So I kind of want to do that now and see if any of you guys' opinions have changed about the Division. Can there still be lots of improvements, or are you guys completely fine with the game as is? So I'm going to go ahead and go around the panel, ask you guys, how do you guys feel about this is the first question it's a two-part question. So how do you guys feel about the Division now at this point? We're going to go ahead and start with Italian. How do you feel about the Division now?
I'm disappointed. I felt like they could have done a lot more with it by now, like really added to the game, and instead they're just dropping gold for everybody. I mean, that's honestly how I feel.
Yeah, it's. All right, we'll dig more into that. I feel you, Clownz, because I'm kind of on the same boat as you, brother. I feel you on that. So we'll go ahead and let Bearclaw. How do you feel about the Division? Has your mind changed, or are you still the same way? Or?
So like I'm kind of been a long time pessimist of the Division as someone who's played it. Beat it, and I got it the Tuesday it came out, and then I put it down the Friday after it came out, and then I played it for a couple hours the other week, but Look, it's oh, God. I know people don't agree with this, but to me, it's Destiny.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I think
I
the way Ubisoft treats it, it's gonna end up like Destiny. And
Yeah.
that breaks my heart because I think the game had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know what? Is the funny thing is, before I move on to the next person, the funny thing is, we were playing who was on it? I think was it you, Fred? No, it wasn't you. I was talking to another buddy of mine on Xbox Live the other day, and we were talking about the Division. And when so Destiny kind of created this genre, which the Division falls into the same genre of a game that's made out of a bunch of other games. That has a lot of elements from other games. And the biggest problem with these types of games is that if the content's not there, the game is not gonna survive.
Right. No,
So
you're right.
it's 100% based on content, and if you don't deliver the content, it's not gonna last. So that's the biggest issue I have with the Division at this point. Now it's still early. The game, it's only been out, what, a month and a half, 2 months, something like that at this point now. So it's still early. Give them time. I just think at this point with the bugs that are currently in the game, I'm still falling through the damn floor when I try to go to the base of operations. With the bugs, with the changes they've made, they've completely, the currency that you used to use like during the beta and alpha, just the regular credits that you get, it's become completely useless other than recalibrating your gear. You don't do anything else with it. Just it's small little things like that. And then, like I said before, the Dark Zone, that was the biggest issue I had, was that there's no game modes. I go in the Dark Zone now, and it feels like empty. Like it feels like nothing's going on in the Dark Zone. So go ahead, GKB. Let's go ahead and get your opinion on the Division.
Yeah, I mean, I said before, like, Division was going to be I was going to play it a lot at first and then be my in-between other games play. But as far as, like, what's happening with it now, I have to agree, like, the currency is just about useless. It's pretty much Phoenix points, getting the highest level, do incursions. And to be completely honest, I haven't played it in weeks. I've just been playing everything else. But from what I hear, I haven't even touched incursions, so... but from everything being broken, they're wanting to ban players and this, that, and the other. They're on a very tightrope here. I'm kind of disappointed, man, to be honest.
Yeah, and just, it hurts me to hear GKB say that, because him and Shivu were like huge advocates. Like Ubisoft should have gave them a check
50
before
hours.
the game came out. They were advertising the hell out of that game. Yeah,
man.
Crazy.
It hurts me to say it.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Pred. What's your opinion on the game at this point?
Oh man, let me put my Ubisoft hat on for a minute. First off, I'm a huge Ghost Recon fan, so I'm actually glad the Division came out first, and they can see what's going wrong with the Division, and that way they won't have the same mistakes here on Ghost Recon. So right now, I've been playing the shit out of it the last couple of weeks. I do the daily missions, and I get on every day just for a couple hours and play stuff. And right now, I'm trying to 100% the game. So I'm just going through the main areas and trying to get all the the phones and the echoes and stuff like that. And every now and then, I'll jump into the Dark Zone. But as I'm sitting here grinding, doing all this stuff, I realize, just like you said, the currency at this point is completely useless.
Yeah.
Also, the XP you gain, with the exception of being in the Dark Zone, the XP you gain right now is completely useless. Everybody's pretty much got the same gear. You can use your cash to re-roll, recalibrate some of your things. But, I mean, it's starting to get boring. And, the incursion was a nice little break. But once everybody either exploited it or were able to figure out how to beat it, it's just like you're just still grinding now for the same gear, and the drops are terrible. Even in the Dark Zone, the drops are garbage. The drops I'm getting in the Dark Zone are worse than the shit I have now, and it's just like, at a certain point, if it wasn't for me trying to get, all the phones and stuff like that, it would be a useless game at this point. I just have to, put it down, put it to the side, and wait for something else, wait for the next incursion to drop, and once I've beat that mission, I'll just probably put it down again. And luckily, we've had a nice little break here with a lot of betas coming out, so people have been able to put the game down and pick it back up, but or pick up not Division, but Destiny for a little while, or we had Doom beta, we had Quantum Break came out, Gears 4, the beta for the Halo. map.
Oh,
So
the
Firefight.
yeah, so you had a little break, but
Near's Edge.
I put it, yeah, Mirror's Edge beta. So I put it down for a little bit. I played those betas and I came back to the division, and it's the same thing that was going on before all that stuff came out. So there's really been nothing out there, nothing in the game that's really that would keep anybody interested, other than just grinding for better gear. But it's like, you can go in the dark zone for 3 hours and you might get a gear mod that's useful.
Did anybody here buy the season pass?
I did.
Yep, I
Yeah.
did.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Now, how do you taste regret yet, or not quite?
No.
Yeah.
Not yet, because the
Absolutely.
DLC hasn't come out yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You think they'll be able to bring it back?
It's a
We'll
possibility.
See. We'll see what the DLC
Okay.
is.
Yeah, it's
How many
just
hours I get out of it. That'll be
Yeah.
the-
Yeah.
yeah, and let's before I even say anything, let's go ahead and get She-Wolf's opinion.
Well, okay, so everyone knows like I'm pretty big on the division. I was nonstop. I had like maxed everything. I was in the alpha, the beta, the open beta, like everything. Played the game, hardcore of course. So we got to 30 within like before even a week was up, which, we obviously didn't explore the game enough. But that was our own fault, and we knew that, and we went back, and, we enjoyed it. I actually stopped playing it about a week before the incursion actually came because the missions broke. And, right there, that drew me away because that's all we had to do at level 30 was these missions, the hard missions and the challenging missions, and they were broken. We couldn't do them. So that became useless because we couldn't get our Phoenix credits, and then they took it away for a week. Instead of fixing it then, they like, oh, hey, we're just going to wait till the 12th, and then we'll bring it back. So that, I was gone from there. And then the incursions, I haven't even touched because it's so depressing hearing all these people take advantage of it and, just exploit it the way that they did. You have people who worked hard to actually try to get their gear, and then you had others that just pretty much jumped through and was like, oh, whatever. So then it's right back to Destiny. It's right back to all those other games that people exploit, and it's just it lacked what it was supposed to have. And they also dropped the mats. So pretty much anything you wanted to craft, when you dismantled anything, they lowered it. So they took stuff away from us that didn't need to be taken away, so that was a disappointment. They took things away that shouldn't have been and then gave stuff that shouldn't have been. Like, in my opinion, the incursions, if they were broken and people were doing that, they should have stopped it. They should have just cut it off and said, we'll bring it back when it's fixed, and then whatever. They lacked on the Dark Zone right from the beginning with pretty much giving you no reason to actually even go in there. Fighting the bosses was useless. You get like maybe 2 or 3 Phoenix credits, which that's kind of just a bummer in the first place. Then you have to get like 50 just to even be able to actually buy anything in there. So in the long run, it was a waste of time. I still love the game, and I hope that when the season pass drops, they're actually going to bring what everyone has been expecting. But if they don't, this game is going to fall just as bad as Destiny did.
You know what? And just to kind of piggyback off of that, She-Wolf, you made a lot of great points. I'm gonna be. This is gonna sound crazy, but at this point, I have more reason to play Destiny than I do Division.
You see their new armor? You can actually be like the creepy people now?
yeah, I did see that. But it's not even. My point in saying that is that if you give people a reason, like the Dark Zone at this point is their form of PvP or multiplayer, but because it's like a seamless, like between the single player and it's not a traditional, multiplayer like TDM, things like that. It's really the replay value is very, very low. You go in there hoping to get a decent drop. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get something that you're not going to use. You're going to end up breaking down. You have to go back in there. Okay, let me hope and see if I get a decent drop now. At least if you give me a TDM or excursion mode or whatever you call it, extraction mode or something like that, then I have a reason to go in there and just replay, because even though TDM is very basic, every match can be different.
Oh, Blam, real quick, man. When we were talking about this before, man, about the Dark Zone and stuff, and you were like, man, it needs modes, and I was kind of like, nah, man, it's really good. Like, after playing it for this long, I totally agree with you, man. They need modes, bro.
It's just not for a multiplayer you need something, you need that bring back thing, and that's what Destiny has. It has that modes that always bring people back because you know they're there. If you're bored, you can jump in, you can play a match for 30 minutes, and you're done. But
Yeah.
the Division, there's nothing. It's a grind or nothing.
Yep, and that's sad, and it hurts us to say this because,
Oh,
like I said
man,
before, we're all huge fans of Division, all of us. Super hyped when the game came out, and we'll wait and see. Like I said, it's still early in the game. We'll see if once the new deal, the big DLC drops, what they give us. Hopefully, they give us some stuff that'll bring everybody back. So let's go ahead and move on from this. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Elder Scrolls 6. Apparently was talked about, or they said it was currently in development at this point. Now we know Bethesda traditionally takes forever to make their game. They take 4 or 5 years in between each game. So, are you guys excited for this next Elder Scrolls, or just to hear the fact that it's in development? Italian Clownz, I'm not sure, but that seems like that would be like your kind of game. But how are you excited for Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like that's the kind of stuff I live for. I can get lost in that and just play and play and play, and I mean, there's just so many things you could do with that style of game. Especially, I don't know if you ever played it on the PC, but you could mod the heck out of that game and have so much fun.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I never had it on the PC, so I seen people with the mods though.
Oh yeah, it was a blast, man. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice. You have any expectations as far as anything you'd like to see, anything like that?
I mean, I really hope they continue with their vampires and werewolf kind of like lore, that kind of stuff. I don't know if they will. Thieves Guild, I want to see something like that in there. But everything else, I'm ready to be surprised because they do great games.
Nice, fantastic. What about you, Bear Claw? You hyped for Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I still haven't finished Fallout 4, so I'll get to that eventually, so I can move on to the next Bethesda game. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I think that based on their new trend, I don't think we'll see it until it's 6 months before it's ready, which I think is honestly good. Like, I don't want to hype a game for 3 years. Yeah, no, I think it'll be great.
Great, nice. All right, Fred, what do you think about the Elder Scrolls 6 announcement saying it's in development?
Well, I love Skyrim, even though I never finished it. But I mean, I don't think we'll see this game for a long time. I'm not guessing until at least 2018, 2019, maybe.
You thinking new consoles?
Yeah, most likely. But I hate getting hyped up over games that are so far out in development.
Yeah.
So I'll just reserve, my feelings for this until I see some footage of it. Everyone knows it's coming, but they just had Fallout come out. They're announcing a couple of games here at E3, I believe, and then once those games are finished and released, then they'll ramp up, Elder Scrolls. But like I said, I don't think we'll see it until maybe 2018, 2019.
Yeah, that's true. They could, like I said before, they typically 4 or 5 years in between each game, so you're probably right about that. What about you, GKB?
Oh yeah, man. Super hype. Bethesda's much like Remedy to me, where they really don't make a bad game, man. Everything's just fantastic. I love Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Online, I really didn't enjoy. I thought it was kind of terrible, honestly. Yeah. But I'm super hyped for another Elder Scrolls game for sure.
Nice. She-Wolf, what about you?
I'm pretty hyped because I love those kind of games that have those lore and the stories and stuff like that. I'm actually really curious to see what they're going to do from the old one to the new one with graphics, with having Tomb Raider and The Witcher 3, especially how The Witcher 3 kind of has that like feel to it, and I'd like to see what they do with the graphics, like honestly how they're going to portray everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think she's really right in that regard. Like, that's my biggest criticism of Fallout 4 is, like, I don't care that the gameplay is the same, but I'm disappointed that Bethesda took 5 years to make a game that looks, I mean, I'm sure if I looked at them right next to each other, you'd say, Fallout 4 is hands down better, but they're using a modified version of the same engine, and I don't know if that's acceptable after 6 years.
That's very Call of Duty-ish.
Especially with the games that have come out, like I'll even give, Uncharted 4, Rise of the Tomb Raider, The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 I'm going to compare to a lot because that game is amazingly gorgeous. And even Dark Souls 3 that came out, like the
Oh, yeah.
textures and the movements and just everything that they've included in these elements in these games, you can't tell me that they cannot bring out this game. And even Fallout 4 should have had this sleek uniqueness to it, and it didn't. And I'm really hoping that they do, that they actually portray better with Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know Fallout 4, like Bear Claw said, it's not the prettiest game. I mean, it's a lot of content. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of work. But I mean, if you put 5 years in between games, I don't really see a reason why. Because if I don't know, maybe you guys, and I'm going to ask you guys this. People who played both, isn't Witcher 3 just about as big as Fallout 4 as far as like the world?
It's so hard to compare because you have there's modes of transportation in
Witcher 3.
Right. Look, there are so many things about Witcher 3 that make it a better open world game than just the Expanse, right? Like people feel real, and the thing about Fallout is I think they do a good job telling stories, and it's fun to play their games. But when you walk up to AI, like they don't feel like they're real people. But every single person in each of the towns or villages in The Witcher feels real.
Yeah, they have a uniqueness to them.
Right. They don't. But Bethesda makes AI that look plastic, and I don't know. It's just hard to get into Bethesda compared to Witcher.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. You go through the game and everybody's kind of robotic.
Yep.
Like if you're looking at somebody, they're just standing there blinking. They're not even really interacting with anything.
Or
So
their
it is
mouths move when they talk, but
Yeah.
their faces don't react or anything.
Yeah, or anything.
Yeah.
They don't even have any facial changes or gestures. Yeah, I did notice that too. That may be something that they need to work on too. So, all right, great. So it sounds like everybody's hyped for this Elder Scrolls 6 games coming out. So let's go ahead and talk about something that pissed me off.
Uh-oh, that's not
Let's
good.
Let's get into this. So, I was fully expecting. So we're gonna talk about Nintendo, everyone. Let's just prepare ourselves here.
Let's do it.
I don't get me wrong. I fully expected Nintendo to come and drop a bomb. All Nintendo had to do was just come to E3, show the console off. They didn't even have to play it or show anybody playing it. Just put it on stage, and E3 is done. Everybody's gonna be talking about the NX now. To hear that they may not be there, they're gonna be there, but they may not be doing like a blowout show or anything like that, and only have like one game that's actually playable for the press, which is Zelda. It's kind of disappointing. It's actually really disappointing, due to the fact that I was really expecting them to go all out, and with the disappointment that the Wii U was, you think that they would learn from that and decide, okay, we need to really go all out. They traditionally for the last 2 or 3 E3s they haven't been there. They've kind of done their own little tape shows. So I figured with new hardware, they'd come out, they say, look at our new hardware, everybody. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread, but we're not getting that. So I wanted everybody's opinion on why, or what do you guys think about Nintendo and the NX and their policies and them not really changing kind of their ways even after the disappointment that the Wii U is.
I just want to add in to go off of you, Blam. It is disappointing because they're supposed to be releasing it in March 17th. So,
Yeah.
that's soon. You would think they would actually make a big appearance of it. Like March 2017, it's gonna come fast.
Yeah, it's right around the corner, and that's kind of my that's my biggest problem with Nintendo. They're stuck in the 80s and in the late 80s and early 90s. Like it doesn't work that way anymore. Like you have to. If you want people to get behind this console, people got to see it. You have to do a big blowout. And I know there's some detractors who say E3 is not this huge event anymore. It's declining, and they don't really need to go. Yes, the hell they do. Everybody else is there. Why not? Like that's the biggest event outside of Gamescom that you're going to be able. That's the biggest crowd you're going to be able to get your hardware in front of. Why not show it off? So I don't know, but let's go ahead and get Italian Clownz. Let's get your opinion on that, brother. How you feel about that?
I think Nintendo is just slowly dying, and they know it themselves. So they feel like, let's not even bother bringing it out at E3 or something. Let's just show off Zelda to get all the Zelda fans hyped. That's the way I'm looking at it. I think that you know, it's just so hard to say because I love him
Yeah.
and I don't want to see him die, but you know, third-party support is not there, and they have really no reason to show it off because they're not going to get third-party support.
You don't think at this point, even with new hardware, you don't think they're going to get the third-party support?
No, absolutely not. I think they'd have a better chance of resurrecting the original NES and Super NES and upgrading the parts inside of them and just pushing them out.
That's pretty funny.
Wow. Okay. What do you think, Bear Claw? What's your opinion on Nintendo?
So it's like you said, right? With them not bringing the NX to E3, it's totally shooting themselves in the foot from a PR standpoint. I mean, all they had to go out there and hold up a controller that just looked normal, that didn't have any gimmicky features, and they would have won. That would have been it. Nobody would care what Microsoft's showing. No one's caring what PlayStation's showing. That would have been the show. Like, everybody just wants a normal Nintendo console. Now, that being said, I think that showing just Zelda is a bad choice. I think that Zelda, what they showed 2 years ago, looked good. So unless something bad has happened, I expect it to look great. But I also am not buying your console just for Zelda, or at least I shouldn't be. And it is what Clownz said, where I think third party will be there at launch because they were with Wii U as well. But it's if Nintendo can push enough consoles into homes within the first 2 or 3 quarters to see if we can keep if Nintendo can keep people. You have to sell units in order to EA or Ubisoft to want to keep making games for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's their concern. But my thing is, I absolutely think that not showing anything of NX at E3 is a horrible idea. I think that Nintendo. So by time Zelda launches in March 2017, it will have been 22 months since Splatoon, which is the last good Wii U game. 22 months between your good exclusives.
That's
absolutely
right. Absolutely
That's
unacceptable.
Ridiculous. That's crazy. That's insane. Think about that. And let's address the elephant in the room. You know the biggest problem I have? Nobody has a problem with that. Nobody else has. Their own fans don't have a problem with it. That's the biggest. We need to stop living in. We all love Nintendo. We got a soft spot in our. But let's get it to. Let's be realistic, people. When your last good game was last year, May, that's a problem.
You know why? Because the Nintendo Wii U, whatever it is now, is the secondary console for most gamers, most console gamers. So they will play that. They'll play their Splatoon and their Marios and stuff like that. In between whenever they're on their PS4 and or Xbox One. So
and just I want to make sure everyone gets a turn, but I just really quick want to jump in and add that I think that Nintendo is showing a lot of signs right now that Sega was showing before they kind of moved away from making consoles and kind of pushed more into the hey, let's just make Sonic and go multi-platform. And frankly, as somebody who prefers the Xbox platform, I kind of want to see what happens in that regard, but I also think it's it's a little bit sad. I think that, and I think I'm a lot younger than a lot of you guys, but I think that Nintendo to me is a childhood console, right? And so to see that go away would be sad for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're gonna go as far as just making third-party games, whatever the case may be. It's a viable option because who wouldn't want the Nintendo IPs on their system? I'm sure Sony and Microsoft would have no problem putting Mario or any of those other games on their consoles. But they are showing signs of fatigue. They just for whatever reason they're so stubborn. As far as the management, they're so stubborn that they will not. First of all, you set yourself up for failure when you decided when I can't remember one of their executives came out and said we didn't think online gaming was that important in 2013. Are you fucking kidding me? Who paid? Did you let that man go out there and say that with a straight face? That you don't think online gaming was that important? Are you serious?
No words for that.
When you have that kind of thought process in upper management, CEO, VPs, things like that, that's a problem. And when nobody's there to address it or call you out or anything like that, and it just continues and compounds itself, this is what you get. Even with new hardware, this is typically with new hardware, we see a blowout everybody gets on board. But I'm questioning whether or not they're going to have the support that they may think everybody's going to give them. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. Go ahead, GKB. What's your opinion on the Nintendo?
Oh man, Nintendo. Look, man, Nintendo gives two fucks, man. They just march to their own drummer, man. They don't even care. It boggles my mind to even know, like, what are they thinking? Like, E3 is like one of the biggest stages and probably their best opportunity to show off the NX. And for them not to even like show up and show anything, that's just insane in my opinion. There's like two schools of thoughts like lately that's been going around is like, is E3 even relevant these days? Because a lot of publishers are kind of doing their own thing, and the other one is kind of like, is NX even ready? Who knows, right? But man, I don't know what they're doing. Like, people have been waiting for Zelda for how long now? Like, it was supposed to be coming out this year for like the Wii U and all that stuff, and now it's getting pushed back again till 2017. Like, come on, Nintendo fans, you got to start like jumping on these guys, man. Like, I know if I was a hardcore Nintendo fan, I'd be like raising hell right now. Like, this is ridiculous.
If that was the only console I owned, I'd be highly upset.
Oh man, absolutely.
Because I mean, go ahead, Paul.
And do you guys think like, maybe those like leaked controllers were like a little too close to what they actually had, and they're kind of like, man, let's revamp these things.
That's a very, very good assessment. That's a very, very good assessment because at this point, we don't know what the hell the console is. People are talking about it being a docking, a handheld / hybrid type console. Then some people saying, oh no, it's just an ultra powerful traditional console. None of us have any idea what the hell that game is going to be. Or when that game, but what the hell the console looks like, what it's going to include, what it's going to do, how it's going to work. So, I mean, they at least have the benefit of that, but they're not even utilizing that. Like, I just don't know, like, what they're doing, and I don't know why, or as a true Nintendo fan, like I said before, we all have a soft spot in our heart for Nintendo, but it's really time to step into reality, people, and start calling out Nintendo for the things that they're not doing. Could you imagine Sony or Microsoft getting away with the stuff Nintendo has this generation?
Oh my God!
Imagine if Halo came out, and that was the only game we got till now was Halo, or till like, are you kidding me? Like, this, it's ridiculous. Go ahead, She-Wolf.
When it comes to the NX, I kind of wonder if the reason, one, if they're not going to E3, because like GKB said, I was pretty much going to say the same thing. A lot of companies are starting to seem like E3's not really that relevant. EA is doing their own show, so who's to say maybe in the next few months Nintendo actually has their own show that they may actually be preparing. Not saying it could happen, but it's possible. It's also it's possible Nintendo may have it in their head that they think that they don't really have to show anything to still sell it, to still be good. Like, they had nothing last year, but people still love them because they're Nintendo. They are a child's console, and parents are going to buy it because parents feel safer with their kids playing these consoles over the Xbox and the PlayStations. I think a lot of Nintendo's problem is, especially just losing the head CEO. I'm sure that also took a big leap on them this year as well. Yeah. And, a lot of people have to stop and think about that. Did that affect the NX in any way? So there could be setbacks that we don't know about, and who knows, maybe it might actually show up at Gamescom that we don't know about. Or again, they just may not need to push it out because they believe their fan base is so important and so based on them that they don't need to show this.
That's true. I mean, I can definitely see Nintendo thinking that. I just think, as a fan, I'm rooting for Nintendo. Don't get it, like, I don't want people to think that I'm not rooting for Nintendo, because I am. I'd hate to see them go away or something, something like that happen or anything like that, which I don't think will happen. But I just think we have to start stepping out and questioning what they're doing. As fans, if you're a Nintendo fan and you're listening to this podcast right now, you cannot sit up there with a straight face and tell me you're completely content with playing Splatoon for 10 to 12 months, and that's the only game you're playing.
All right,
you cannot tell me that.
Real quick, like I think you're right, but have we all played Splatoon? Like, it's It's pretty good. Like,
Oh, it is. No. It's no slight.
Yeah.
This is actually,
I actually didn't play that game.
oh man, no, it's like the only game Nintendo has actually made 100% original. And like I'm so happy that they didn't just make it like a Super Mario Sunshine spin-off game. Like it is so good. It's just unfortunate they only make one good game every generation now.
I also want to point out one thing. I don't mean to cut you off, Bear.
No, you're good.
I just actually have. What if the NX, they wanted it to compete with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 and the new generations and stuff like that? What if, with what Xbox and PlayStation are doing by bringing out these new consoles, that they actually have to go back and rechange things around to actually bring it up to be able to compete because they're trying to get these multiplats. Like they were trying to sign with COD, and there was a huge rumor that COD and games like that were actually going to the NX.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
My concern is that the only reason I'm skeptical of them, having the specs set and then hearing about the Neo and whatever Xbox has next. The reason I doubt that is because I think it takes. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm certainly not. But I think that it takes a very long time working with hardware companies to say, hey, will you make this part in mass for me? And like I think it takes a long time in production, right, to get a game out. Yeah. And so I kind of doubt they hear Neo rumors and then are quick to jump on the shit, let's scrap it and start over. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder. But the thing is that could totally happen. Nintendo is so mismanaged right now that it's kind of hard to predict what they're thinking.
Yeah, and I want to ask Clownz something. Clownz,
Yep.
I know you're a little older. You know what I'm saying? We're all relatively the same age in the podcast, with Bear Claw being a little bit younger.
Yep.
But with the direction currently that Nintendo is going in, would you still buy the NX at this point?
Only because it's nostalgia, I would.
Yeah,
absolutely, I would. And I love their virtual console stuff, man. Like, that brings me home, back to the old days. So yeah, I'll buy it for that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Fair enough. Fair question. All right, so I think we beat the NX to death.
You forgot me, man.
Oh, Fred. Oh, come on. Oh, highway. All right, Fred. Go ahead, brother. I do apologize for that, man.
That's all right. I've been kind of quiet. I've been listening to everybody else talk. So.
Go ahead, Fred. What you think, brother?
I'm really disappointed they're not coming to E3 this year, because I think they pretty much all they had to do was show Zelda, and if they had anything for third party, show that in the console, and they would have probably been talked about until the console release. But I think the problem with Nintendo is that the reason why they're not at E3 because they don't have anything to show except for Zelda, and that's it. I mean, like, I know some dev kits went out, but I mean, I think it was the guys from Ori, and
they had trouble. They were pissed with it.
Yeah, they were pissed.
They didn't have any dev kits, like I forgot the other company. I know it was the guys from Moon Studios. I think it was the guy that made Unravel was the other guy. And they were kind of upset that they hadn't gotten any dev kits yet, so they can start making stuff for the system. But, and GKB brought up a good point. It's like maybe they saw that that controller, when that leak came out, and they're like, maybe we need to redo this. This isn't looking ideal. But I really think they just don't have anything to show, and that's why they're not coming. And maybe they're saving their reveal for something like their own event, or maybe the Tokyo Game Show, I think, is in September. So maybe they're waiting for that to do their reveal on their own soil versus doing it here in the U.S.
Well, they do those Nintendo Directs.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Also, too. So to be fair, they do have their own. That's not like it's pretty common for them to show a lot of stuff of their own because they have the Nintendo Direct. So I'm not so much upset about that. It's just the way everything's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's convoluted. There's nothing for me to get behind as a gamer myself and as a consumer.
Even if they do like the Nintendo Direct stuff, like that's not in people's hands. It's still like just on a screen. Like that's what E3's for, man, to have the media go ahead and play with it. Give their impression so everybody else can see what's going on. So, I mean, I don't know what to think.
I mean,
go ahead, Jericho.
And I know we're trying to move on to the next topic, but really quick, I almost wonder if, we were talking about how they don't have any games coming out until Zelda in March of next year. I almost wonder if the strategy is since we don't have a November or October game, that big window. Let's see if we can announce our platform in that kind of period, and then you know what I mean. Basically, like let's keep our name in the media in October and November by announcing our console. Even though they don't have software, they'll have hardware that they can have people talk about.
What about Gamescom? What if they go to Gamescom?
I don't. So
That's what
Gamescom
I
is in
said.
Germany, and I don't know if Nintendo.
Yeah,
I don't know how they feel.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, they do have like Fred brought up. They do have Tokyo Game Show, which is
That's
it's
true.
is it before? I believe it's after Gamescom.
It's
correct?
after.
Yeah.
It's after Gamescom.
Isn't it like around November, or a little bit before that?
Is what?
Gamescom is in August, and Tokyo Game Show's in September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
September? Okay.
Yeah, so they may do it there. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for them to reveal it on their home territory, but at this point, you're just kind of you're letting the Wii U at this point is that anybody who ever played like sports like in junior All-American or when you were a kid, there's always one kid that was like really small, like, and they just put him on a team because of like his effort.
Yeah.
That's what the Wii U is at this point. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
There's your gold star.
let's get you in the game. Don't worry about running the bases or anything like that. It's okay if you strike out. You try. It's kind of one of those situations.
Fourth quarter with a minute left and a blowout
At
loss.
this point,
30 seconds left. Like, yeah, get in the game, Johnny. Yeah.
at this point, Nintendo is kind of like, Xbox and Sony are the big brother who's holding the controller and playing playing a single player game, and then Nintendo is the younger brother who's holding the unplugged in controller, but he feels like he's involved, but really he's really kind of irrelevant to what's happening.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't there also a Paris show in January? That's pretty big.
I'm
I'm
not.
not sure.
Is that the one that Sony was at last year?
Yeah, isn't that the one that they ditched Gamescom for and went to instead?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they
It would be
really
closer
have
to their
PlayStation.
release dates.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
Sony
sure.
actually has a good spring.
How big is that event though?
Well, I would
Sure.
assume it'd have to be pretty big if Sony skipped Gamescom to go to that one instead. So
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, because I honestly hadn't heard of the Paris event till last year, so
Yeah, that's a big.
I didn't. So that's just for reference. I hadn't, and I usually try and keep up with all of the events and news. And I hadn't heard of there being like a huge Paris gaming event. So I mean, if that's any indication, has any of you guys here on the panel heard of it before Sony went to it?
Not until Sony went to it last year.
So if that's any indication, She Wolf, then I mean we're in the States, so maybe it's I don't know. I just Gamescom and there's E3. That's it, and Tokyo Game Show. That's it. So I'm not, I'm not sure how relevant that Paris games event is. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to another topic. That was actually a really good topic, everybody, too. So let's go ahead and move on. Now, I was actually gonna reserve this for next week, but we can touch on it just a little bit to end the show about the Battlefield 5 reveal. Now, we're not gonna go really deep into it, but I just kind of want to get everybody's impressions on, are they excited for the next Battlefield? Are they gonna purchase it? We'll go ahead and start with Italian Clowns. What do you think, brother, about that Battlefield reveal?
Yeah, man. I'm a big Battlefield fan. Yeah, I'm getting it. So, I mean, I can't wait, to see what's in there and what they do. But there's been so many rumors, though, that, like, at first it was World War I, and then World War II. So, I mean, we really don't know what they're going to be, what era it's going to be in. But either way, man, they make a great game, and it's a lot of fun.
Definitely. And I want to ask you another question, Clowns. Do you think Activision is feeling the pressure from like Battlefield? Because I kind of feel like they're reacting to what's going on. Like they know the game is not as good, COD, and it's kind of slipping with Titanfall 2 coming out, with Battlefield, with these other options coming out, Gears obviously. You feel like there may be something there as far as what Call of Duty's doing right now? You feel like they're kind of there? That's why they immediately threw out their teaser trailer right after Battlefield said, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and show our game next week."
Yeah, I definitely think that Call of Duty's feeling the pressure, and that's why they're throwing in the remaster just to get the sales up. Because they'll keep milking the Call of Duty franchise and watering it down, endless times just to keep selling a number. That's all it is to Activision, but when it comes to like Battlefield, there's just so much more in there. Like you can actually interact with the vehicles, and that's what really makes that game, man. Like you can go on helicopters, and it's just Call of Duty can't compete with that.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Bear Claw, what you think about the Battlefield? You hyped for it next week?
Yeah, so big Battlefield fan. Kind of like Gears Judgment, I like to pretend that Battlefield Hardline doesn't exist. So I'm kind of hoping they stick to kind of a more core experience like Battlefield 4. I think they will absolutely call it Battlefield 5. I think that we hear a lot about World War I, World War II, and I think that's a lot of wishful thinking because everybody is sick of this futuristic shit. But if you look at the last few DLCs for Battlefield 4, they hinted a lot at the Battlefield 2142, which is kind of their futuristic kind of mech thing. So I'm guessing that Battlefield 5 is probably going to be either kind of the Battlefield 4, slightly modern, or maybe a little bit futuristic. But either way, I think Battlefield multiplayer is some of the best stuff, and I'm so glad it's 64 players on consoles now. So I think that they're putting the heat on Call of Duty for sure.
Okay, cool. All right, so Pred, what do you think about the Battlefield reveal? You hyped for that?
Oh, definitely. Like that's one of the reasons why I left Call of Duty. It was for Battlefield. It was more realistic. It's just it's a must buy for me. If you're into military shooters, I'm definitely picking that game up on launch day. You can if I could pre-order it now, I would over Call of Duty any day. So I'll be picking it up. So that's all I gotta say.
You're not really concerned about like what era it's in, if it's new, old.
I'd rather it be more recent.
Future.
I'd rather it be a more recent era. But even if it's World War II or Vietnam or something like that. I mean, I know they're going to make a good game. The only thing I'm concerned about is that, DICE's engine for Xbox One, they typically can't push more than, 720p with their engine.
With unstable 60, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Hopefully they get that figured out and they take the time to figure, how to fix that. But the games have always been good. It's worth the money if you want all that additional content. There's always something to do. It's if I compare Call of Duty to Battlefield, it's kind of like it's night and day to me. Like they have like the Levolution techniques. They have you have vehicles you can get into. You can blow buildings up and apart. It's like Call of Duty to me. This is like really linear. So it's I don't know. Like I said, it's night and day. So I'll be picking up Battlefield. So
all right, for sure. GKB, what about you, brother?
Oh man, I'm super hype. Everybody knows I'm a super big like COD guy, but if Battlefield does come out and say, hey, this is gonna be World War II, World War One, I'll definitely be getting it day one. Especially if it's World War II, man, being able to fly around on some P-51s, Hellcats, some Zeros, do all that kind of stuff, man. I'm down for sure. Are they feeling the pressure from all these other shooters? Absolutely, man. I could see a lot of COD guys switching over to Battlefield, especially if it's World War II, and as well from Titanfall too, man. People want to say that it hasn't been around enough and this, that, the other to build a pedigree, but it's got a big following, man. And Titanfall 2 being multi-plat and being on everything, it's gonna be huge, man.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be big. People are gonna buy Titanfall 2 in droves. I can tell you that right now.
I know I'm getting it.
Same here, day one here.
Yeah,
what about
for
you,
sure.
She-Wolf? What do you think about the Battlefield reveal?
I think they're going in the right direction. No matter what, they're going in the direction fans want more than COD. So no matter what, they have that. They have that going for them. And truthfully, when it comes to those games, my number one anticipated shooter is Titanfall 2. So that's kind of the one I'm more looking for. I give kudos to anyone who wants Battlefront, but it's not really, it's not my main game, and I do agree they are going in the right direction. So I give them kudos to that they're staying more to their originality than what COD is doing, and that will probably take a lot of fan base, as everybody has been saying on this panel, and I agree with that completely. But yeah, it still comes down to I'm Titanfall 2 all the way here. So
Yeah.
Okay. For sure, for sure. All right, cool, cool. Yeah, I definitely think also too. My opinion on the whole Battlefield. That's very interesting what you said, Bear Claw, because I hadn't heard that about. You said what 2021? You said
2142. Yeah, it came out
2142.
probably close to 10 years ago now. It's
Oh,
an
yeah, I remember
older
that.
Battlefield game.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That could be there could be something there. We don't know. So they could be start going a little bit in the future. But the thing about that is it works for a game like Battlefield because it's a massive game. It's a lot going on. So when you have vehicles and things like that, like moving a little bit into the future would work a little bit better. Like he said, like Fred said, COD is really linear. A lot of small maps. Even the big maps are small maps.
Hmm.
You know, so it doesn't work as well. You know what I'm saying? Like mechs and all these crazy things and the robots and all of the. Matter of fact, just to just to go back to COD just for a second, the movement system that they added with the jetpacks, it doesn't work. There's no verticality to any of the Call of Duty maps.
Yeah.
There's maybe like a one-story building that you can jump on. Why do I need to move 60 feet in the air when I'm only jumping 10 feet? That's as high as I can
wall
jump.
climbing on a 3-lane friggin' shoot 'em up. It
That's what I'm
doesn't make
saying.
any sense.
You know-
Why do I need to run on a building that's like 2 feet up from me? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I
and
don't-
my thing, I love Titan. Look, Titanfall has flaws, right? It's a shallow game, but the gameplay was so good. But
yeah.
if there's one thing that I don't like about Titanfall is that it kind of before it came out, it was so influential on all these developers that they all started following Titanfall's let's
Yeah.
wall run and bounce
Yeah.
off and stuff. And
Parkour and all that stuff.
it works so well in Titanfall, but like I don't want Titanfall to be the only game or Titanfall ripoffs to be the only shooter I'm playing for 4 years straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
But Titanfall got that though because of it came out with no campaign and only multiplayer, and it became a major top seller.
Oh yeah.
Sony fans wanted it, Xbox fans had it, and it became, and of course, Titans, come on, you have a giant robot you
Right.
can go into and hit people, step on people. They turned it up for everything, so of course all these companies are going to be like, oh my god, but they're doing it wrong because they can't
Right.
actually copy it, so they're going to rip off some things and then do it wrong anyways.
And the
Right.
gameplay is so good because it's the original Infinity Ward guys that
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
got COD where it was. So.
Yep. Pretty much. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Great point. Great point. So now is the time, everybody, that we're going to start taking. We're going to take 2 questions. I'm not going to do 3 this time. We're going to take 2 questions. I'm going to shoot those questions to the panel. So anybody has a question right now in the chat, go ahead and throw the question in the chat. We can go ahead and answer that for you guys before we get out of here for the day. So let's see. We'll go ahead and check chat real quick.
You're going to do Mooch's
Shout-
question?
Yeah. Where is he at? Did he just ask a question right now? Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We got Mooch in there rocking out with his drunk ass,
Fox.
drinking that. We got
Big
Slap
Easy.
Happy,
Slap,
Big
yeah.
Kinky Troll, Fox, Majin, everybody that's in here. If I missed you, I do apologize. But yeah,
love y'all.
appreciate you guys. Yeah, appreciate you
I got a
guys.
question that's not gaming.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Are you
Uh,
hyped for Civil War?
Yes.
Who is
Yes.
not hyped?
Next question.
That's the question.
Good question. Yeah,
I
That's
think
a-
somebody asked about VR if we thought it was going to be a fad, which I think
oh, that was probably Mooch.
That's Mooch. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We can
Let's
answer,
do it.
we can answer those questions. So VR. I guess I'll
Long
start.
topic.
Yeah. I guess I'll now. It's oh goodness. So okay, VR. It's a thing. Okay, at this point, I don't know if that's something I'm gonna try and get into. If the technology's cool, it's immersive. There's still really, really big issues. First of all, you got the motion sickness. That's still a really big issue for a lot of people. The lack of quality games. I mean, you're basically at this point, most games you're gonna play are cell phone level games on VR. You know, there are a few games that are being developed now that are a higher quality, but that still takes time, and they're not out on the market yet. 3, I think that the VR market is going to get crowded. I really think that if it does like kind of take off, you're going to see about 40 different people making headsets. And that's the difference between a console and this whole VR thing is that there's only really 3 people that make consoles. You know, so there's really not that much competition, but anybody can make a cheap VR headset. You could get Sanyo, you could get Samsung, Sony, all these different companies, HTC making VR headsets. So I think that's gonna drop the quality of like games and things that can come out, because you're gonna get a lot of like low end VR headsets that are gonna be coming out. So go ahead. Anybody else want to answer that VR
Yeah,
question?
sure, I'll go in there. Yeah, right now I don't think VR's where it needs to be. From like talking to a lot of people, and big shout out to Inferno. Had a lot of conversations. He got to demo a lot of those at PAX.
Yeah.
And a lot of the games, he's just sitting there and you can like move your head around, but you're still using a controller.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really enjoy about gaming is like the interaction with people, the community, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to put a headset on and kind of like lose all that and just be immersed into what I'm doing. I like to talk to people and do all that kind of stuff. I think I'll definitely get on VR when it gets to the point of, I've said this before, like I want like a holodeck like from Star Trek. I could just go in and like everything's like that. And I think
man cave.
Yeah, and I think what does that for me, like right now, from what I've seen, is the HoloLens with AR. So like my house turns into like some kind of like environment or something like that. I think that's very interesting.
They also did it with the Halo thing too, where you like walked
Right.
into this room and it was like all Halo.
Yeah, and you're going down the waypoints and stuff like that. I think for me, that's where I'm leaning more towards than having this big headset on, and maybe it's not even a big headset, but and just losing everything else in the environment. I got kids and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to punch my TV or trip over one of them or something like that, man. Like and some of these headsets with they have the tracking things. It takes up a good sized portion of a room. So there's that to think about too.
Yeah, you got to move furniture when you put on that headset.
Right.
Man. You got to do some rearranging. So there's some very inherent problems with VR. Anybody else want to take a stab at this?
I'm going to jump in here quickly.
Uh-oh.
I see a few issues. Yeah, I'm against the VR. I think it was brought out too soon. There's several issues. One, when it comes to kids, everybody talks about how gaming is destroying our kids. That's why they shoot up schools, everything else like this. And now you're going to stick shooters where they can actually feel like they're actually in the game? Okay, yeah, that's going to turn out well. Do you know how many bumps and bruises are going to be on these kids? I don't see that turning out well. One, there's too many cords. Like, clean it up before actually bringing it out to everybody. I know if I was to put on a VR and start jumping around, my dog would probably knock me on my ass without me even realizing he was the one that did it. So, I see that issue. And, again, it's so bulky, the screen, there's the glasses problem. You're sitting down. Who's going to want to come home from work and actually put this thing on and play for several hours? Like, look at how many people play COD for, like, up to 7 hours, play Diablo or any other form of game for hours at an end. Are you guys really going to want to come home from work, a long day at work, and do that?
Yeah, it's not practical at all. It's not something that I can see people picking up.
I want to jump in on this too.
Go ahead.
And GKB and she will basically, and hell, even Bear Claw, basically, I'll hit all the points I wanted to mention too. It's like once you put that headset on, you're closed in. I'm sorry, you're blocked out from the outside world. You have no clue what's going on in your surroundings with that thing on. So that you take away that aspect of gaming. Like when I'm playing, like even when I'm playing with BLAM, we're playing online. I'm usually like playing the game. I'm looking at my laptop and Twitter. I'm checking my phone out. I'm kicking the cat. There's something else going on around my environment while I'm playing. And once I put that headset on, I can't do that anymore. And she will hit the nail right on the head. It's like there's too many wires. I don't want to be standing up. Looking around doing shit like that while I'm playing a video game. I want to sit on my couch or in my man chair and just play games. Kick back in the recliner, pull it up and play, and I don't think I can get that same affected feel if I have that headset on my head.
Yeah, I do. Clownz, you got anything about VR, man?
Ever since it's been announced, I was the biggest person to say that it's just a fad and it's going to go away. It's just something that everybody can invest in right now. Like, all those investors that have a lot of money, they don't know what to do with it. Hey, we'll just throw it at VR for now. But, I mean, VR's been around since Lawnmower Man, and how come it hasn't been introduced before that? So, I mean, it's just a scrap of junk. It's not going to catch on with developers. People are just overhyping it because there's too many investors in it, and it's going to die down very fast. It's going to die quickly.
VR should have stayed where it was, with watching movies laying down on your couch, with the screen thing on your head where you can be comfortable and just watching like a movie like you're in a theater. That's where VR should have stayed. It should have never come into video games, in my opinion.
Look, and I didn't get a chance to quite jump in, and I'll jump in really quick. I think that VR. Look, I've said this on like literally every podcast where it's come up, but VR, I think, is something that I would love to see take off, but I just haven't seen practical applications of it. I think that, like 3D TVs in 2012, I think that we will see them come and go in a year and a half, and they'll dwindle around. There will be a few cool applications, but I don't see this as a revolution in gaming. I don't see this, when we added a second analog stick to a controller. I don't see it, revolutionizing how we play. Yeah.
I just want to add in one quick thing. You know what I see the most with VR? You're going to see a lot of YouTubers recording their friends looking like idiots when they're not realizing they're being recorded.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
A lot of VR pranks. Yeah.
I want to add into what She-Wolf said, and I agree, about the bumps, the bruises on the kids. And I also think, people that don't have eye conditions are going to end up with eye conditions after this, too.
Yeah.
Like, I really think it's going to cause something to children that play it, and it's going to be like 7 years down the road, and all of a sudden all these lawsuits, like, oh, I played VR when I was a kid, and now I got this and this and this. It's just going to cause so many issues.
Didn't the original 3DS have that problem where, like, if you were under, like, age 8...
Yeah, there was a disclaimer.
Yeah, they didn't want kids under age 8 to use the 3D.
Because of the 3D, yeah. They give you an option to turn it off because it would screw up their eyes.
Let me ask you
Now
guys
you're going to
this.
have a screen put to your face?
Yeah.
What games have you seen on VR that were just like, I got to play this?
Yeah, there's
Not
that
really.
too. That's the big issue.
Most
Yeah.
of them are just tech demos at this point.
I like Adrift. I think Adrift is about 5 hours. I think it's a 5-hour game. It's where like you're blown up in space. I think that's cool. Yeah, outside of that, I'm looking at Sony's VR thing. I guess Riggs looks kind of cool, but like I'm not hyped for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing really.
Yeah.
I like what Mooch just put in the comment. He says people want buy a $100 Connect, but everyone is lining up for a $600 VR set.
Yeah, but at least the Kinect, you were actually in view with everybody. More people could actually be in the Kinect with you. VR, you're by yourself. Unless you're going to go spend another $600 so that your friend could stand beside you and play VR and you guys can just run into each other anyway.
Or just have a terrible time like that. I think we talked about it earlier this week, She-Wolf and GKB, like...
Oh, the demo.
Yeah, the PlayStation demo where they were just trying to, like, do digital frisbee and, like, it glitched out horribly on stage. It's just not going to work.
You
So,
probably need... Yeah, go ahead.
long story short, to wrap up this, is I don't know what's going on with VR, but most of us, I think it's going to fizzle out. Most of us think it's going to fizzle out. We don't think it's going to be the next revolution in gaming.
Right.
It's cool tech. The tech is cool, but it has too many issues, too many glaring issues right now. Now, maybe down the line when, technology moves a little further along and they can address those big issues, then we'll start to see, these good games and different things like that, or practical applications. Right now, it's too early. I think it's going to fall to the wayside. Like you said, great comparison with the 3D TV also, too, Bear Claw. That's a perfect comparison. So I think we got one more question here, and I want to get to this because I told him that I'd get to his question. Shout out Big Easy 77 in the chat. He gave us a great question. I know you guys are going to like this. He said, if there was one franchise you would like to see MS get the rights to market or do a game, what would it be?
I've said this like a million times.
Yeah, we've me and GKB, and I actually brought this up in podcasts probably like 10 podcasts ago. But he asked
I want Splinter Cell, man. Splinter Cell. That's all I want, man.
That's a good one. I'm gonna go around the panel. So, Italian Clowns, what if there was a game or a franchise, marketing rights and or the rights to the game, what would it be from Microsoft?
Believe it or not, everybody's probably gonna laugh at me, but I'm gonna say Ratchet and Clank. I really enjoyed the latest one.
I love that game on PlayStation.
That's interesting.
Well, that's an interesting pick. Yeah.
I think it would sell really well on Xbox.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, makes sense. What about you, Bear Claw?
Is this what was the question one more time?
If there was a franchise that Microsoft or Xbox could have either the rights to the game or the marketing rights too.
Oh
What would
God.
it be? One game.
Dream would be Zelda, right? Oh God, yeah. A good Zelda game on a powerful console for once. Jeez.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. I'd love that. I'd eat that up. Yeah, for sure. What about you, Pret?
Oh man, so many choices here. Let me see. Can I say Fable? No.
Too soon.
Oh my God.
There's a
Too
slap
soon,
to
bro,
the
too soon.
face.
Wow, it's too soon.
No, actually, I would say Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, that's a good one too, man.
I love that game.
Yeah, that's good. Ninja Gaiden's a good choice, man. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, just to go back to Bear Claw, man. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like Zelda being done by like CD Projekt Red.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Oh God. Don't even-
Oh wow, man.
I still like.
Oh.
I just think that it needs to just be published on all the platforms. I'm okay. Like honestly, I think Nintendo makes fine Zelda games generally. I just. Oh, I don't think.
Zelda in like a grittier like.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh.
interesting.
I'd like to see Zelda actually talk for once.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Move
dope.
his mouth, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, that would take away from it. Remember when Fable had they didn't talk in Fable and they started trying to make them talk? It just didn't have the same effect.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The bubbles are kind of kiddish to me, man. The speech bubbles and the
Yeah.
text. I don't know.
Hey, Link makes sounds. He squeaks when he's swings.
Oh man, my goodness. All right, so for me, oh man, wow, there was one. You know what else would be cool that just happens to be a Nintendo game, like a Metroid would be cool too.
Oh man, Metroid would be dope too.
Metroid on Xbox would be awesome. I definitely eat that up, buy that for sure. All right. So yeah, looks like that's gonna be it unless somebody else has.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna throw out the most common one that I'm sure everyone's gonna be like, "Oh shit, I want Mario on Xbox."
That's like three Nintendo games.
Yes,
Yeah,
I want
You know what,
Mario 3D World on Xbox.
You know, it's funny too because I think if Nintendo just doesn't do good with this new NX, it maybe
They go third party.
They go third party. They'll pull the Sega roll, and they would make so much
Oh
money.
God,
with their
Nintendo would
franchise.
cash out. They cash out.
They're already dipping their toes in it by going to mobile.
Mobile, yeah.
Yeah.
Mario, Zelda, plus Splatoon. What else am I thinking of? Mario Kart. I mean, it's like all their stuff they have. They can just release all that stuff and like for 3 straight years, like just drop.
Pokemon? Imagine if Xbox
Pokemon,
had
yeah.
Pokemon.
Oh God, yeah. That's true too.
Oh, well, that's a good one. Yeah, that would
that's a good
definitely
one.
sell.
Yeah, that
And you
was.
know, if Microsoft was smart, they'd be like, hey, if you want Minecraft on the NX, you guys have to give us Pokemon.
You know what? I said that too. Like, when they said that they were going to be putting Minecraft on the Wii U or the occasion, I thought that there was like I would have hoped Phil had been like went to the boardroom and went to Nintendo like, you know what? We're gonna make a trade. Fuck this. You're not just gonna get Minecraft and I'm not getting anything. Like, you gotta give me something. Pokemon something like Mario something like. You gotta come up with something. Yeah, Smash Bros. Something. You gotta make a trade. Do something. So, all right. Looks like we got our questions in. So look like we're gonna go ahead and call it here, everybody. So thank you guys for another great episode, for joining everybody. Looks like we got about almost 40 people in here. Appreciate you guys watching. Great topic, great gamers here with me. I'm gonna go ahead and go around the panel. Let everybody get their plug in. I'm gonna start with you, Italian Clownz. Where can people find you, sir?
Well, you can find us at 4GWQ Podcast on Twitter, YouTube and Twitch, 4 Guys with Quarters, and 4guyswithquarters.com.
All right, just to piggyback off you, Tom, I'm gonna make sure I get my ass on that show at some point, man. My schedule's crazy right now. I know.
I hope so, man. We've been trying to figure out something to get you on.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. I'm gonna try and get on there. So go ahead, Bear Claw. Where can people find you, man?
Sure. So I run a video game blog by myself at bearclawgaming.com. I do news articles and reviews every couple of weeks when I have time to do them. Otherwise, you can keep up to me on a day-to-day basis on Twitter at bearclawgaming. And I'm pretty active on there too. So, and again, thank you guys so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it. Nice chatting with everybody.
No problem. Go ahead, Fred.
You guys can find me at the Xbox After Party. I typically do a video once a week. Or I'm on here. Seems like more frequently than not. Twitter at awater76, and you can check out my channel as well. Thanks a lot for having me back on again.
All right, GKB, it's on you, brother.
Oh yeah, I'd like to shout out everybody in the chat, all the fans, everybody, man. Thanks for rocking out with us on all the shows. You guys are amazing. Thanks for the support. It's GKB. You can find me on Gamers Knows Best YouTube and Gamers Knows Best Twitter. Don't forget She-Wolf's part of that. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
All right, She-Wolf.
You can find me on Twitter, Desert She-Wolf. You can find me on Gamers Knows Best, Console Corner, Xbox Nation with Craft Gamer, and so on and so forth. And Mooch, I know it's Mario, not Mario. Thank you. I just wanted to point that out. And of course, always add me on Xbox. And Blam, thank you so much for having us on. I had a great time with everybody.
Oh,
No
She-Wolf,
problem.
you forgot one thing.
Wow.
General Hospital.
I don't watch that. That's Ran. It's Ran's thing.
All right, everybody, man. Oh, before we forget, we want to give a big shout out to Asthmatic too, Matt, man. I think he had something to do today, but shout out Matt if you're listening, man. We miss you out there, man. So just tune in when you get a chance, brother. All right, so we out of here, everybody. Thank you guys for showing up, man. And as GKB would say,
take care of your fellow gamers.
all right, everybody, we out of here. Y'all take it easy. Have a good one.